Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Kari and Kristin. I'm Kari Dory, running for Minnesota Senate for District 12.
And I am Kristin Tave. Kari, today I would like to talk about the mission statement of your campaign. So oftentimes campaigns are built around some sort of big idea, like Senator Paul Wellstone saying, we all do better when we all do better.
So great.
Does your campaign have a mission statement?
It does. Our mission is really to bring the values and ideas together for voters. The theme of the campaign is let's change the conversation and start focusing on what really matters. It's not just a tagline, it's really the heart of our campaign.
And what does that mean?
Well, it's really pretty simple. It tells the voters that our campaign is not a single issue campaign. It's certainly not politics as usual. It tells our voters that our campaign has a purpose.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Can you explain that a little bit further?
Sure. When we talk about the things that really matter to most of us, that we need to talk about those things that really require undivided attention. And yet all too often we hear the most outrageous things from politicians, including our current rural legislators at times, making statements that are blatantly false. So many dog whistles getting repeated over and over for the sole purpose of pitting us against each other and really dividing our communities.
I know exactly what you mean, and so much of that really is just to further divide us. People, communities, groups, everything.
Yes, it's really hard to get people to come together and talk about important local issues, but we need to solve those actual real problems. We need to build strong, thriving communities, and when our elected officials are constantly sowing discord, when they're criticizing our teachers, when they're undermining our healthcare systems, this is just bad behavior that needs to be done. We need to stop it because it's unacceptable and it's just so much nonsense.
I completely agree with you. Can you tell me, so then the focus would be on similarities, right? Like, what do we all have in common? Can you tell me about a little bit how that plays into your campaign?
Yeah, I believe that no matter our differences, what we all want if we really drill down, we really want similar things. And then when we start focusing on what really matters in our everyday lives, we can start imagining our best possible future. So we really need to focus on that future that we all deserve.
So how do we get started focusing on that future?
Well, first, we need to change the conversation. We need to ignore those lies and that misinformation, and we need to remind ourselves about the things that rural Minnesota has going for it, which is so many things, which is why I think both of us moved back here.
Yeah.
We have a long history of looking out for one another and of doing the right thing. So we really need to remember that, and we need to start telling those really positive stories that what's working for us out here, what's working for our communities, and really appreciating what we already have is a great place to start.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And there's so many examples of that. We don't even have to look very hard. There's the small things like mowing the lawn of your neighbor who maybe is hurt or has an illness, picking up groceries for an elderly person in your family when they were nervous to go out during COVID upswings, or even just picking up the mail or watering plants for a friend who's on vacation. But then we also have those big things too, like the elevator fire in Clinton, Minnesota last summer.
Yes.
I mean, during that fire, I believe that there was 12 departments that came together to fight the fire, coming from 3 different states. Tons of people showed up in the way that they best could, whether it was actually fighting the fire as a member of one of those departments, or whether it was, providing water or providing meals, baking a pan of bars. All of those things really matter. And so you're exactly right. We all can show up for each other.
Yeah, what a great examples that you share. We all do know how to show up, and we know how to take care of each other. You and I live right here in Big Stone County. Here in Ortonville today is where I teach. We have great teachers, a great staff, and so many deserving students. And I know that our neighbors in CGB, where you live, have the same.
Most
and all
definitely.
Throughout western rural Minnesota, we have so much to brag about.
I agree. We have wonderful healthcare.
Yes.
We have really nice elder care facilities, which we should be super proud of. We have main streets that are growing. We have farms that are doing well. There's so much going on in our area that is just really positive.
It is. So those are the stories we should be telling first. The stories that remind us what we love about living and working in rural Minnesota, because it's when we remember those things that we love and value that we are motivated to fight to keep it.
Most definitely.
So because it's because our homes, our families, and our communities are certainly worth fighting for. But first, we need to change that conversation so we can all start focusing on what really matters.